I want to go on to something here. Is are MAGA supporters insane? Are MAGA supporters insane? Again, every campaign has its fringe. Every campaign has the hard workers' arguments for their candidate, candidate A versus candidate B. Sometimes it's very impassioned. Sometimes it's very strong. Sometimes it's very personal. It's visceral. It's crazy. It's white hot, right? And it's usually about debates. I remember the big debate about Reagan and Carter was, will 10% across the board tax cut really help all people? That's a debate. Should we, have an arms race to beat the Russians and end the Cold War? That's a real debate. Debating whether about abortion, that's a real debate. The problem is nowadays on both sides of the aisle, but definitely more so on the Republican side, MAGA folks are unreasonable and irrational in their defense of Donald Trump. They really talk about things like, and I deal with it in my own content. Many of you know I go live on TikTok periodically 2 or 3 times a week. I'll probably go on TikTok again after this live and talk to people directly. My TikTok account is curious_formula. But Trump folks just believe the craziest, nuttiest thing, and they have some of the craziest players. Now in 2016 and 2020, you had people like Diamond and Silk. How many people remember them? I know some people here remember them. Diamond and Silk, and you had some other sort of characters. There was a black reverend, I forget his name, and he was around. And you had, and you had people like the woman Jackson, who used to be on Saturday Night Live, and you have a lot of these people, and it's like, okay, they're a little loony and whatnot. MAGA folks, you can tell them facts about Donald Trump, and they do these experiments. I was going to play that video, but they do videos where they talk to MAGA people and they tell them like, would you vote for a candidate who, or they say something like Joe Biden did this, 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 and this. Would you vote for a candidate like that? They go, oh no, absolutely not. I can't vote for. Joe Biden did that? So, yeah, figures. Yeah, I would never vote for a guy like that. They go, oh no, I got that wrong. Joe Biden didn't do that. Donald Trump did that, and they'll literally say, yeah, well, he probably had a good reason to do that. Or, yeah, he did it, but I'm sure he did it because of this, this, and this. Like, it's literally that lunacy. Nothing captures the lunacy of MAGA better than the story about Laura Loomer. And I just want you to listen and see this one. This short will shock you about how Laura Loomer is. If you don't know who Laura Loomer is a social content creator, social media content creator. She is very close friends with President Trump. She's been on Donald Trump's plane and flown with him. She was there giving him advice and thoughts and prayers, and I guess just her presence when he did the debate with Kamala Harris. And she's in a war now with Marjorie Taylor Greene, which this is going to tell you a little bit about. But it illustrates how far crazy some of these MAGA people are. And she's not out in the field somewhere doing this. She's riding on Trump's plane. She's staying at Mar-a-Lago. She's reporting these things. And she's close to the president. The president refers to her as like his girl and his defender and gives all kinds of compliments and praise. More recently, she has been barred from being around the president because she started taking on a figure of importance around the media, and the media started noticing who she was and starting to talk about all the crazy things she said. So now she's being barred. But this is a representative of MAGA at its best. And again, this is not crazy, out of the woods, nutsy kind of whatever. This is somebody who was on Trump's airplane and staying in Mar-a-Lago.
Who the heck is Laura Loomer? Madness. Utter, complete madness. Laura Loomer is madness personified. She is a living human asylum. Not to put too fine a point on it, but Loomer desperately needs care. And Donald Trump is in trouble. He has brought into his inner circle and his bedroom an extremely dangerous woman. You can stop the video right now because...
Now let me say this. Now we don't know if, they're making an assumption here about in the bedroom, right? I don't think there's any kind of evidence or proof positive that says that, Laura Loomer is, intimate with former President Donald Trump. So I just want to use that as a disclaimer here. But she doesn't have to be. Just listen to their relationship.
Only becomes messy and insane from here on out. Okay, everyone strapped in and ready. Here we go. Loomer was born in Tucson, has 2 brothers, and is prohibited by the FBI from possessing a firearm because her father had her committed multiple times for acting out in harmful ways to herself and others. She attended 2 colleges where she consistently secretly taped fellow students and faculty. She edited these and released them as if they were uncovering some secret plot. Secretly recording people and trying to stage controversy would become a theme in her life. And if I was Donnie, I'd be quite worried about that right now. She attempted to secretly tape Clinton staffers taking a bribe from her. They did not. She attempted to secretly...
Now, this is all factual. You can look this up yourself. I know there'll be Trump supporters on here who say that's not true. This stuff is all factual, and you can look it up yourself. It's been documented by media. It's been documented by a lot of other sources. This is not some random stuff. This is who this woman is.
Secretly tape herself voting illegally as another person by wearing a burqa. She staged herself protesting in front of a Shakespeare in the Park play and got arrested on purpose to raise money with websites she's already set up to get donations. She claimed mass shootings were staged by the government and also ISIS at the same time. According to once close colleague and fellow right-wing maniac Milo Yiannopoulos, she tried to run for office in 2020, and her campaign staff had to keep her sedated and take away her phone. And when
Now, if you don't know who Milo is, Milo's another really, really crazy right-winger, Trump supporter, and he's crazy. And he says she's crazy, right? So this is what I mean about Maga, right? They're crazy on levels, right? That you just don't see in normal campaigns. You don't see this with Democrats. You don't see this with normal Republicans. Like the characters that social media has created and the world has created that get their 15 minutes of fame, like there's something really, really mentally unstable, or as Rocky Balboa used to say, mentally irregular about some of these people. Black Guru says, do I think that she is involved? I don't know if they're involved. I mean, Donald Trump has a style and a take, and she fits his take. I mean, she loves him, and she's like crazy in love with him. And I guess she's a type that maybe he likes, but I don't know. I don't know. If Donald Trump still does that with other women. I don't know. That's a good question, though, Black Guru.
she lost, she was put on suicide watch and locked in a bedroom in Palm Beach. In fact, the majority of the extreme right wing who have had interactions with her have disavowed her as simply insane. Back in 2017, and it's worth a watch if you can find it, Gavin Wax, president of the Young Republicans, put up a video detailing Loomer's stalking and obsession, contacting his family, following him around town, showing up at his office, lying to his friends that they were in a relationship even though they'd only met twice in a business setting, calling and hanging up and sending text messages of his own address. She then threatened to tell everyone lies about him unless he would sleep with her and get her pregnant. The one-sided text message thread alone would get this account banned. So let's bring this back around. Loomer.
So again, now they're giving you the background. This is all the stuff she did before she was Maga, before she was with Donald Trump, before she was, doing all this stuff. And it's very easy to see, to look at her stuff. You can go to her page and look her up and see some of the crazy things she said. She's called Black Women in Congress, Keishas and the whole nine. I mean, just really appalling stuff.
Has clawed her way into Donald Trump's inner circle.
Now, this is where it gets
She helped him prepare for the failure of a debate. She apparently fed him the nonsense about cats being eaten, and she is quickly throwing napalm on the already burning trash fire of a campaign. Donnie is a narcissist. He will cut her loose. Loomer has been diagnosed with a plethora of issues that makes her viciously retaliatory and has a penchant for secretly recording pretty much everything. I'm not saying we're going to have to live through a shaky phone recording of them in the bedroom of Trump Force One, but I wouldn't be surprised. Who the heck is
So
Laura Loomer?
this is
Madness.
this is who Laura Loomer is. Shout out to Nick Muller 8, who on TikTok. If you haven't followed him, follow his whole page. He has cartoons about Donald Trump that just take facts out of the newspaper, things that have been reported in court documents. We're going to be doing one of those a week until we get to the election, because he does a better job of, and it's funny, and again, he puts it in cartoon form. He does a better job of covering the history that Donald Trump wants you to forget, the history that the Republican Party doesn't want you to remember. And he just kind of historically goes back through not only his own actions, but the history behind them, why Donald Trump does the way he does things the way he does, and why he gets these kind of people around him and what they think about him. So just wanted to play that for you. It's always interesting to me to hear how people think about this guy. If she gets pregnant, what are the odds of he aborts? Then what the pro-life people say? Well, again, Black Uhuru, I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't know what Donald Trump is doing with his craziest of supporters. Let's hope he's got enough sense not to do that going forward. So yeah, that's that. This is Curious Formula, and you're here on Wednesday Night Live. One thing for me. Well, I want you to do three things for me. I want you to subscribe, like, and comment below. Be a member of this channel. Hit the notification bell and to let you know when we go live. We go live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.